All right, Truman and Cosmic Peace in War Times. We are now back with part 12, all right, of Malachi York letters. So, let's keep it going, all right? This passage is speaking in the future when true culture is established in Africa on planet Earth. This excludes Mr. York for a few reasons, okay? One, being York told his mentally dead, followers, they, not all, were going to planet Rix to live, and some will come back based on the faulty book of Revelations, which was copied from the Hindu writings of sage Narada, who was the moon god Tahuti incarnated.
Rahubat, if you could.
Rahubat, Master Teacher, I really appreciate your knowledge. I just have two questions.
Correction, I'm not the master teacher. I'm a student teacher of the master teacher. Right, the master teacher is the partner Babylon. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Demi and I'm calling from Toronto. I just have a question, actually two questions regarding like a few things I've heard you like talked about in the past. The first one is about like the planet risk. I know we deal with like a lot of facts with everything like you explained. Like, do we have like any scientific evidence of like, you know, the planet risk? That's my first question. And the second question would be, I've been meditating for the most part of like this year. I'm just trying to like understand, like, is there like any way I can practice like astral projection or like anything I'm doing wrong? Because I've been trying it for like close to like a year now, because you did mention in one of the episodes that is something we should be able to do at any time we want to. But yeah, I just was wondering if you can just expand a little bit more on those questions. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yes, in terms of planet risk, okay, like we say, if you've never experienced something, then you can't say, okay, it's a fact to you. However, there are three main ways to establish something being truth or facts. And that's evidence, obviously, reasoning, and the experience, like I said. So even though you may not experience something, you're still able to come to a conclusion based on the evidence that's presented, or you reasoning it out. A simple example is like, if I was to tell you something you've never heard of before, like I said to you, this thing's called fire and it burns. And you're like, I don't know what that is. I could say to you, okay, to show you that it burns, here are some pictures of people that have been burnt by fire. Here's the evidence. This person can show you their scars and tell you that they were burnt by a fire. So even though you still haven't experienced it yourself, there's a lot of evidence available that you can say, okay, everyone's saying this thing called fire burnt me, and here are the scars and the evidence. You can say, I still don't accept it. And you can reason it out and say, okay, since these people say that they've been burnt by this thing called fire, let me do an experiment. Like, let me get a piece of paper and put this thing called fire to it, or some other thing that can burn. And you do it and you see that it burns it, right? So now you've got your reasoning, okay, that's something that I've done myself. Now, the experience part is to say, I still don't believe that. Let me put my hand in the fire. And you put your hand in the fire and it burns your hand. Now you've got experience. Because you look at it, it looks like the people who were burnt, that showed you the pictures of them being burnt and their scars. You saw that it burnt something else and now it's burnt you. So you can do that to arrive at a conclusion. Now, when we look at planet risk, we were first told about this. I never heard about planet risk, but by using what's around us, like, okay, what is a planet? And we are on a planet, so we're told, and this planet is called planet Earth, and we accept that. But when you start to study it, you're like, okay, why is it called planet Earth? Because what they're calling Earth is less than what's actually available on the planet, which is water, kind of tying into the previous question. So you're like, okay, so this is called planet Earth. Are there any other planets? They will tell you Mars, Jupiter, etc., in our solar system. You've never been there before, but you accept that these Pluto and these other planets exist. So you're like, how do you know? Well, there are pictures. People have taken, used a telescope or whatever, and they say these other planets are in our solar system, and you accept that. So you've never been there, you've never experienced it, but you accept it based on the evidence that has been shown. So when it comes to planet Risk, somebody came from there that told us there's a place called Risk, and they described it. They say it's a tri-solar system with 3 suns, and they give you so much information about it. They wrote books about it, describing it many, many, many years ago, before tri-solar systems were discovered by the Hubble telescope and now the James Webb telescope that can look back into time and look into space and get much more clearer images and evidence. So I'm saying that to say that the master teacher Panda Babyanun told us about these things before they were able to find tri-solar systems.
Secondly, this passage says the king or queen would be an incarnation of Nupu, 9 mind mental energies / oh my God particles, ultra high energy cosmic rays according to science, because they are not spirits at this time. Again, York is not the one, Garu. Stop telling these lies, sir. Listen to reason. We Africans by race need the ability, knowledge, and guidance of sound right reason called Nupu, and our science known as Noon, in order to be mentally resurrected from the grave of ignorance about absolute nature and its laws that we must learn and practice for survival and liberation from enemy forces. Sound right reason, Nupu, is neither an individual spirit or spirits, nor spirit gods or goddesses. Sound right reason is the best mind of the one supreme being called absolute nature, who is infinite in all directions and eternal. Sound right reason is mind energy of the all in all that emanates from the centers of the suns of the universes and penetrates the persons, places, and things of the universes. Sound right reason changes the atmosphere we breathe and the way we think. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Try and skip up the tape, number 59 in part. Okay? Not no aliens, not no spirits, not no Murdoch, not no Tahuti, none of that crap that y'all been told has nothing to do with sound right reason. Listen to reason. Right now, mental energies from the center of all what? The universe orbs, meaning the suns, the planets, and the satellites, not no extraterrestrials, people, are moving more positive toward what? Nupu. In addition, the negative force of nature that rule the bottom half of the smack circle of order, talking about spirits, have a positive side as well as a what? Negative side. And that positive side is partial, favorable to who? Nupu and Noon. Not no extraterrestrials, not no hermaphrodites, not no homosexuals. Okay? And this fact means that although Nupu is not what? Spirit beings. So stop saying 9 ether spirit beings. Y'all are insane. In the bottom half of the order of the order circle, Nupu and Noon have what? Spirit beings aid and support and recognition, because spirit beings know even though they have created and supported religion for 6,000 years, it is time for us all, spirit beings included as well as human beings, to be taken upward in standards and values, qualities by what? Non-ether mentality, Nupu. Not taken up in a spaceship that never came. And also 9 mind what? Knowledge, which is what? Noon. Not Wu Sabat, not Wu Nawupu, not Moon Wapu. None of this crap, savings, none of that crap is what y'all supposed to be following. Simple. counterclockwise on the right side of the smart circular order. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Mr. York has claimed to be incarnations of 6 Ether Murdoch, Melchizedek, and 3 Ether Tahuti, which are anti-Ethiopian African race members as spoken of in the Bible interpretation and explanation and the nature books. Sabians still worship and trust these fiends. There you go. Said the Ethiopian race descended into slavery and Tartarus, hell and Hades. It now takes the right side spirits of the smart circular order to help us Ethiopian. Not them, not Murdoch, not Tahuti, not Osiris, not Isis, none of them. By race out of captivity and torture and back to liberation and freedom. Our type of freedom and our own type of society, which is what? Noon, not Wu Sabat. Surely, those spirits who will work with Nupu and Noon for our liberation, for what? Adverse forces are right side spirits, not no aliens. Ethiopians by race cannot put any what? Confidence in their old gods and goddesses because they let us Africans by race down. Although it was predestined to happen according to the smart circular order. So all these forces here is the reason why Sabians and the rest of the world have messed us up as a race. They have not liberated black people. They only enslaved us in other people's religions, and religion in general. Transcript tape number 54. Mr. York has taught all his followers to have confidence in all those deities that dumped us into slavery from ancient times. That is why Mr. York is in prison, as his trust in those demon gods left him to suffer at the hands of the Pakakasu, as the Caucasians, as the Sabians say, the same way they set Esau Panthera up, Caesarion Ptolemy the 15th, also known as Jesus Christ, at the hands of the Romans. Y'all forgot about that? Y'all forgot that Jesus was an incarnation of the same gods the Hammurabi had? Y'all forgot about that? And they did what to him? Set him up. Remember, the M23 says plant stands alone as the heraldic logogram. Heraldic is an adjective on the model of French. Heraldique from Middle English and Latin. Herald, the sea herald. It means what? Messenger, envoy. See? A surname. Herald, commander of an army, or a similar Germanic source from Proto-Germanic army. Root choral, war, to command or rule. Let's go to the nature books. Listen to reason. Now that the universe orbs and bodies like the sun, earth, and moon are decreasing in 6 ether energy and mind and increasing in 9 ether energy and mentality, someone has to herald and what? Usher in, command, and rule in this change from universe winter, the evolution cycle, to universe spring, the revolution cycle. See forms 1 and 2 in the 4-word topic. And that someone is who? Afro-Unu, not York. Once again, y'all have been played. The writer and messenger of who? Nupu, whose science is noon. Like the correct information in the presentation. Moonset Sunrise in part, page 35. Listen to reason. So then the conception of Nupu is the what? Beginning of 9 ether what? Mentality. In the brains of the stars, again, and the gestation of Nupu is the gradual increase and emanation of that what? 9 ether mind to the rest of the universe, including human beings. But someone amongst us, humans, has to be the what? The herald, the M23, the head messenger of the knowledge of this new cycle. Remember York said that Afro-Unu is the head, in the Harvest book that he gave Afro credit. All right. The head messenger of the knowledge of this new cycle and new order of person and things. And Nupu what? Selected and appointed from amongst their posterity, Afro, not York. York was not selected by Nupu. York was possessed and selected by 6 Ether Murdoch and 3 Ether Tahuti to go against Afro and Nupu and Nun. And qualified and authorized him to what? Write, circulate, and what? Propagate Nun. So there you go. Propagate means to teach it. So he was teaching it. Just because you, Garu, didn't see it, don't mean it wasn't happening. The science of beginnings and endings, plus the SMAC Circle of Cosmos, including the SMAC, Nature Book 2, page 167 in part. This also disqualifies York, who claimed he was here to raise 144,000 children to go on a ship with the Anunnaki reptiles that was supposed to take them since 2000, 2002, 2003, 2007, 2009. I even seen something that said 2013, 2030, and 2045.
You saying that you're supposed to raise up these kids 144,000?
No, I'm saying you're supposed to raise them. I'm supposed to give you the doctrine to do it with. And what has to happen is you have to marry women. This makes it so difficult, son. Y'all have to marry women who we know have already been defiled, because we all have been defiled by the harlot, right? We have did all the wrong things, but we have to give birth like Mary's mother gave birth to Mary. That's why we call her the Blessed Mother Mary, because she was also blessed. And she is to give birth to the Messiah. Just the thing y'all have to do. You brothers and sisters, you young people have to marry and give birth to kids, and let me raise the kids in Arabic and in purity, and not be drinking of the wrath of the fornicator, the harlot, and then your kids will give birth to the Messiah that'll save the world. You understand? People keep thinking they're the 144,000. How can you fool yourself into thinking you're the 144,000 with all the devilish that you done did your whole life? Why don't you stop fooling yourself, Junior? Y'all know y'all ain't. How do you know 144,000? If the Messiah Jesus came out of heaven right now, he walked by most of us with all the stuff that we done did. But we can give birth to children and raise them in purity and righteousness. They never had no pork in their body. They never defiled or blasphemed the name of Allah by worshiping more than one deity or binding partners with him or saying that Jesus is God. They never did that. We can raise them, then their genes will be perfect, and they will give birth to angels or angelic beings. With the problem then, that's the way we have to do it. But it's not my job solely. No, you're going to help me with this one. You're going to help me push this car up the hill, because it's too hard for any one mortal. Okay?
Right.
What's your name?
Leonardo.
One of the deities Sabians and Wapians were worshiping was Enki, whom York claimed he was his spiritual father. York claimed that Enki was his spiritual father. Y'all forgot about that? These images come from Nawapianism.com. Mr. York taught that Enki was possessed by the sex-forced Leviathan. How can an alien be possessed by Leviathan? It's like the tablets. Those who follow Enki, who was surrendering himself to Hindu deities called Leviathan, and surrendering to their customs and traditions, and even went as far as the rage of grotesque Ishtar, also called Inanna, to be a supreme deity called Sinj or Sin. How does this make sense? How can an extraterrestrial fall victim to a religious group of humans? Make it make sense. Mr. York also taught Enki, his father, and the Nawapians, God had sex with his daughter and granddaughter in his Black Book 2. And the reptilian side of Enki dominated the Anunnaki side, which made him more sexually active because reptilians enjoy sex with humans. They are constantly abducting humans for that main purpose. Enki was given into his reptilian side. He even went as far as having sexual intercourse with his daughter, granddaughter, and great-granddaughter, etc., just to bear a son so that the son could take Enlil's position or be in competition with the sons of Enlil. Again, following Zechariah Sitchin. The next definition of the 23 sedge leaf meant denote royalty, authority, dynastic power, and the pharaoh. In the people God races, the natural born leader was number one of each origin group of 72 members, and each successor leader was a natural born leader, or chosen by spirit beings of both. And this heritage of the firstborn, or best suited by nature leadership, was passed on to the kingship of the who? Tarkanor race, also called the Ethiopian race, African race, and black race. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Introduction to the Nature of Nature book, 2 pages, 111 through 112. Just as there are forces that can foretell the future, there are also forces that can retrace the past. And Amenubi Rakapata, writer of Bible interpretations and explanation, has access to all forces necessary to retrace and foretell. And this fact made these booklets possible. One authorized and appointed by the force of nature is given connection and access to powers of what? The sun and moon and powers of planet Earth. York claimed he got his powers from extraterrestrials, not the orbs, that he may take his place what? In the sun, meaning in universal affairs, and all of his kind, who are able to learn, understand, and accept universal knowledge and facts as disclosed by non-ether, will also be given the same what? Connections and powers for realization and maintenance of liberty, justice, equality, rightness, and surviving beyond Armageddon, the war short armature, right and wrong. See, that is very important. Here in the BIA tells you that Amenubi has access to the past, present, and future, and to the sun, moon, and the earth. York is all the way disqualified. Bible Interpretation Explanation Booklet 2, number 5. All these things written here apply to Afro Unu. We now know since 2014 to now that Mr. York was indeed lying about being Amenubi Rakapata, and he admitted to now writing the Bible Interpretation Explanation Booklets 1 and 2 and the non-Bible counts. Okay? We already knew, we just didn't have the evidence prior to 2014, but we was working on it and we got it. All right, this is from Devon Wilhelm, who was one of the greatest debaters in our group. He said, is York Amenubi Rakapata the author of Get From Behind the Nine Ball, a book they never have produced yet, and the Bible Interpretation Explanation, BIAE booklets? Is York the chosen one and first in this day and time to reveal the word Nawapu? Nawapu, as he once claimed in some of his books in the 90s. Is York also Afro Unu, the author of Nature writings? Nawapu will say yes, or they will say he only came to reform and renew information to right the wrong. So, once again, this is one of the letters. Next thing they're going, I asked why, and I'm told some lie, when in fact I am not the Amenubi of the Bible Interpretation Explanation. I'm just a messenger sent to renew, which really means to remix it and mess it up. Truth, that's all he is, and he is head of the Nawapu, one of the elders who guides my pen. Once again, like we said up here, Afro Unu was the head. He's the herald. See, one has to be the herald. Look, the head messenger. So York is only claiming and tried to play it down. Now you in prison, all of a sudden you just a messenger. No, you not. You as a sixth ether worker. Right? He claims that he says here, he is the head of Nawapu, which we know is Afro Unu now. Afro Unu did not guide his pen. He stole from Afro Unu and still lying even while he giving a man credit. Murdoch can't be trusted. He's one of the elders who guides my pen. I ain't what people want me to be. That means you will follow them. If you what people want you to be, that's lame. I did not write Bible Interpretation Explanation or Behind the Nine Ball. I only renewed it, meaning he remixed it and changed it from what it was. Not to forget that Mr. York released a book called The Harvest, giving Afro Unu credit for bringing the Wapu. And it says right here, 173, They saw as the year 2000 that what I began to teach was unlike any other black leader.
Here it says the ancient Egyptian word for herald or reporter is WHMW, which is written using a combination of the calf skin with tail, Gardner sign F25, the chick G17, and a man figure A1 as a determinative. In ancient times, calf skin was actually used to write on. So it says writing and records, parchment, precursors, fine animal skins, including calf skin, were stretched and dried to form early forms of durable parchment for important administrative and religious texts starting around the 4th dynasty. So if we look at the chick hieroglyph, it represents the sound W or U. It can either make a short or long U sound. So we know that Afro-Unu's name, Afro-Unu, has long U sounds in it, and so does Nupu, Zupu, and other terms that he has written in his books. So I'm just trying to give you an idea that Afro-Unu knew what he was talking about. And he wasn't lying when he said he was the messenger. So if we look at the A1 hieroglyph, known as the seated man, it is important because it serves as a fundamental determinative and logogram in the ancient Egyptian writing systems to classify male human beings, specify personal names, and indicate first-person singular pronouns. So it says linguistic function, determinative of manhood, placed at the end of a word to visually show that the preceding term relates to a man, a male occupation, or a specific male role. As we know, we are talking about Afro-Unu. Personal names, used as a classifier to mark that a written sequence forms a proper masculine personal name. Pronoun indicator, acts as an ideogram or suffix pronoun for first-person singular meanings like I, me, or my. Word breakdown and meaning. Literal translation, one who repeats or speaker of reports. Role, an official messenger, herald, or legal registrar in the ancient Egyptian administration. Hieroglyphic spelling. As we can see here, this is the spelling. So I wanted to just add to this because when you read all the books that Afro-Unu writes, he calls himself the scribe and the messenger, as well as the reporter and the penman. He always adds those pieces in there. But he also tells readers that repetition is done intentionally. And as we could see in the Egyptian word for herald or reporter, it says one who repeats or speaker of reports. And also he has written down the 80 different laws that must be followed in true culture society, which would make him a legal registrar in that case as well. Here's an example in the introduction to the nature of nature, and it reads, we're going to start here. Moreover, this writer, the penman and reporter of this 9 news, does not use the word God for the name of the one supreme being, because the word God is a title and not a name, as may be verified by such titles as sun god, earth god, moon god, and also underworld god, serpent god, sea god, ghost god, and so forth. Repetitions and repeats of information found in this book is intentional, and they serve the purposes of information, clarity, and emphasis on the subjects and the points being made. So he himself, just using these terms, is explaining that he was the herald, the reporter, the messenger, not Dr. York.
So they watched and waited to see if it was Wu Sabat. They knew about what? The Wapu of Afro-Unu. See, so all of that lying for years, didn't get Afro-Unu credit, misspell his name, and then still say he didn't have all the answers. But that's what Nwapu has been saying for years. The Wapu is it. The Wapu is the science. The Wapu got it all. All of a sudden, it don't have everything because he had to give the truth and the facts to Afro-Unu. Cold. So Mr. York was impersonating as the Pharaoh Amenubi Rakapata Afro-Unu from 1991, 92 to present day. This is what happens when you see a faker. False. Here's the proof of Mr. York has stated over the years when he was out claiming that he was Amenubi Rakapatah. In the book Nawapu and Amenubi Rakapatah, Fact and Fiction, he says the purpose of this scroll is to give those people who question the very origin and the meaning of the words Nawapu and Amenubi Rakapatah a clear understanding of what they mean. Both words are introduced to the public in the Western world as far back as 67 AD, which is a lie. York was in prison from 1964 to 1967. He didn't introduce nothing. He was a Muslim and a gang member. Of course, we know that was a lie. And Mr. York was in jail from 1964 to 1967. Here's one of Mr. York's slaves repeating the same lie with the earlier date. Right? This is January 26th of this year on Facebook. The lamb soon appears as the lion, seen by many, understood by few. Those who look for signs miss what stands plainly before them. The word became present, some revelation breathed. Now a maxim from Pandabar, the master. The maxim of Yanun, Pa, Mimimad, Ba At M Yanun, Yananin, the overseer, Ba Yananin, the way to salvation, right? He says is what? For you, all my beloved children of Wu Sabat, Wu Nawap, Pa Nadir Amun Nabab, Ray Ye Akta, see, still corrupting the word Amenubi Rakapatah, presently known to you as Baba Yananan, appeared to you in Bashir, human flesh, in the year 1963. I have dark reddish brown skin color, woolly hair with eyes like flames of fire. That's again copying out of the book of Revelation, saying Jesus had eyes of flame of fire. Y'all are still in religion. York was not introducing nothing in 63 except being out in the streets, being a part of a gang, and caught a statutory rape charge and went to jail for 3 years. This is on record. So he's still telling lies. This 1963 date is a direct contradiction to Mr. York claims a man from Planet Risk that the year was 1970. See? Man from Planet Risk book. Then in 1970 was my time to what? Come in flesh. But he just said he appeared in flesh in 63. See that? See the lies?